Hello, group. Welcome to Extra Rock Corner. I'm your host, Richard May. You see that cover? Holy crap. That's amazing. And this was released within 72 hours of Donald Trump's adventure in South America. There's the old distraction of the anniversary of the insurrection 5 years ago, and the Epstein files, and the economy, and whatever else. The tariffs, and holy Reconstruction Records. Much respect. Ladies and gentlemen, Damaged Youth, Blood for Oil. Within 72 hours. Throwback to the 60s, where a small label, would have a staff of songwriters and a group of musicians in a studio that they would control. And it's like, we got an idea for a song. Ooh, you see what these guys did with their hit single? We can nick that. Let's do another song kind of like that. And so these small entrepreneurs could react instantly to, the latest hit, to follow up with a hit of their own. And you have a stable of songwriters and a stable of musicians, and I got an idea, and you throw whoever is available, you put them in the studio, and you record it, make up a name of a band, like Damaged Youth, and you put the record out. There's all kinds of bands that did not exist, but they got a song and boom, out it goes. Dekonstruktion Records can operate in a similar fashion. They put out, their labels put out a record every other week, or I think a lot more than every other week. But this label is from Tampa, Florida, in the United States of America, and they put out some kind of punk something every couple of weeks. For some reason, I started to follow the label, which led to me getting a notification of this. Thank you, Bandcamp. And holy crap, 72 hours. I'm sure they had some things in the can or prepared before 72 hours, but damn. 8 songs, 15 minutes. It's punk, boys and girls. In case this is too subtle, this is old school, hardcore punk. In the tradition of, and this is from the label itself, Black Flag, George Foster's Army, Dead Kennedys, and the Circle Jerks. Correct. And other bands doing thrash, punk, not thrash metal, don't get confused. That's Metallica and Anthrax and a different ball of wax. This is thrash punk. I didn't like it back in the day. I just thought it was nice. And bad clothing. And now I get it. You know, I've given good reviews to, what was the name of the band? Anti-Citizen and the Hood Rats. Those are hardcore punk bands that I decided I liked and I reviewed earlier last year. We'll get to the debut from Tampa, Florida's Race to Youth. I'll get to that in a second. So, it's hardcore punk. It's quite political, except for the first song. First song, they gave you the song Alcohol from Gangrene. I happen to own some Gangrene cassettes, older Budweiser. I just love that title. Get it? Older Budweiser, right? Okay. So they start with Alcohol from Gangrene, do a cover of that. But then they get to the heart of the matter. Blood for Oil, Burn Barrels and Ballots. Did I say that? Burn Barrels and Ballots. A cover of a band from their label, Moral Minority, Fascist. They've been taking notes in the last 10 years. Other song, Feed the Machine, Follow the Money, Race to Generation. And the last song title that says it all, We the People Are Pissed. America is pissed. Lord knows. Now, it is on YouTube. A little tricky to find it, but it is on YouTube. But the thing is, on YouTube, they just give you the record in one take. They don't divide the songs up, so you can save individual songs. You want to save this on your YouTube likes to listen to later on your shuffle. You have to do the whole album. Okay? But on Bandcamp, they divide up the 8 songs. They give you the lyrics for all 8 songs, which I really appreciated. And damn. So on Bandcamp, you can identify and read the lyrics for all 8 songs and understand what you're consuming in your ears. And, so Bandcamp will do that for you. But you want to listen for free without any arm twisting to buy it. Come back to YouTube and you get it as one file, all 8 songs at once. You do not have individual tracks that you can like and consume. It's all together on YouTube. And it's a little bit tricky to find, but you'll manage. Just remember, rate Damaged Youth, Blood for Oil. In case you need to take a note. And of course, that's the cover. What a cover. In the tradition, of course, this is why I'm wearing my Sonic Rendezvous, Fred Sonic Smith, from the MC5. The first hard rock band to put politics. Yeah, folk musicians were doing politics before in the 60s, but MC5, that's when you can rock out into politics as well. God bless the late 5 members of the MC5. We lost them all. So, what else do I? 72 hours. Yeah, this album came out on January 6th. The invasion was on Saturday the 3rd. So it was, yeah. So about 72 hours after the invasion of the South American country. I'm not going to try to say the name. It's not that hard, but it's hard for me. It's not a word I go to very often. Venezuela, right? So, but this is, and I'm not throwing shade on Dekonstruktion Records. Dekonstruktion Records is a very open bunch of folks. Because someone made a comment on YouTube, because you can make comments on what you listen on YouTube and go, hey, this is whatever. Someone made a comment, and the label, I guess the parent company of Dekonstruktion Records, Death Rock Radio. Wherever you can listen to Death Rock Radio, I have no idea. They replied that Damaged Youth, Blood for Oil, the album was a quick toss together to show the sign of the current times. Indeed. And it's a good toss together sign of the current times. It's well done. You know, I suspect they have a stable of musicians. I can be wrong. I'm allowed to be wrong, right? Like I was saying, in the 60s, you have, stable songwriters, you have stable musicians, and when inspiration hit, you can turn around a song in one day, or 2 days at most, and get off to the record press and press it up and get to the radio stations and the streets and, jump on the latest trend. Like Dekonstruktion Records did themselves with this. And kudos for them doing it. I just noticed. Because, of course, I took a look at Dekonstruktion Records and went, okay, tell me about this label. And, yeah, they release a record about every couple of weeks. Some of the musicians that they credit are kind of anonymous. Like their bass player here, Filthy McNasty. I'm sure Mr. and Mrs. McNasty is very proud of their son, Filthy. And he's also the bass player in Dekonstruktion Records bands Johnny Voodoo and Moral Minority. So I think there's a house band going on. And some song credits, band credits, are like in, I don't know what language, maybe Russian. And who knows? So it's all good. I'm not throwing shade. I love it. I'm going to review other Dekonstruktion Records in the near future. Well, I'm going to check them out. Now, no promises. But this is a damn good hardcore punk record. Maybe new to appreciating hardcore punk. But damn, This is good. Anything I'm supposed to remember? And, I gotta explain this and have to be careful. Remember, if you sue me, the parent company of Action Rack Corner is Reader Publishing. Keep that in mind, okay? You want to sue me, you're suing Reader Publishing. Thank you. There's another band called Damaged Youth. They released a record this year. Do not be confused. Apparently, it's not the same band. I'm pretty darn certain, okay? This is a lot hardcore. This is really damaged, okay? Trust me, this is damaged, all right? I got a vision for artwork. Let me do this. Oh, you're a happy camper, I can tell. It's like, it's great art. I love it. I adore it. I do. But the other band, named Damaged Youth, I got no background. I don't know where they're from. I know nothing. I couldn't find it. What I did find is they have a new album, like I said, from this last year, Social Warfare. And you will find that on YouTube as well when you're looking for Blood for Oil. Blood for Oil is what we're looking for, and it's cooler than Social Warfare. It rocks. You know, it's a touch pop punky, but it's hardcore as well. And they dress the part, and there's a video for every song apparently on their record. At least 9 to 15 songs. 9 of them have videos with the song. Nothing wrong with that. That's a cool thing. I saw a couple of the videos. It's those AI jobs with stuff, one about bubble gum, and they're blowing up bubbles in their bubble gum and singing about their punk philosophy, whatever. This other Wasted Youth with the album called Social Warfare. The thing that rings, I'm not punk. Why should I be offended? I'm not, I guess. Maybe figure it out. But the band with Social Warfare and their 9 videos, it ties into, they're talking about being punk and independent or whatever they're talking about. I didn't pay close attention, okay? I didn't get a lyric sheet. Like if you on Bandcamp, you get a lyric sheet for this. And the lyrics are cool. For our friends at Blood for Oil. Damaged Youth. But Social Warfare, Damaged Youth, are connected to a clothing line. Okay. I guess that's allowed. Because I remember my history of punk. Because Malcolm McLaren, the manager of the Sex Pistols, the guy who put the Sex Pistols together and managed them, he had a fashion boutique in London, England. And he kind of wanted a band to help sell his clothing in his boutique called Sex in London, England. If you ever, and I'll say it again in the near future, I said in the past, punk is fashion. There's no such thing as punk music. Everything's called punk today. You can play the hardest heavy metal, and we're punk too. You can play ska, it's punk. You play oi, and it's punk. And you play garage rock, and it's punk. And you can play anything. You can play the Archie's greatest hits. And for marketing purposes, as you're covering the Archie's greatest hits and the Partridge Family, and we're punk. Yes, you are. Sure, fine. Everything's punk. You say you're punk, you're punk. I'm not the punk gatekeeper. Far from it. But how punk is social warfare, trying to sell you music and clothing together? Well, that's how it all started, wasn't it? With the Pistols? Okay. But this is a little bit more naked in its intent than Markham McLaurin ever did 50 years ago now. Or going on 50 years ago now. Whatever the date is. So, it's all good. So, don't confuse. There's two different, that's all I'm saying. There's two different damaged youth bands. One from Tampa, Florida, USA, with this fine debut record, recorded in a storage unit or whatever they said it was. Just hardcore, put together record. Okay, fine. We were proud of you. Damaged Youth with Social Warfare. A bit more polish to it, a whole lot more production to it, a lot more video to it, AI to it, CGI, whatever it is. Don't know, don't care. It's okay. Maybe for laughs, I will examine the record and decide if I want to tell you about it further. But first blush, links to clothing, so that you join the revolution, the punk revolution of social warfare. Damaged Youth. Different than this Damaged. I want to join these guys. I'm a generation too old, I know, at least. If not a generation and a half too old. This gets me kicked out of the band every time. This I did not make a political statement about the war, the action in South America, and do I need to? Some bitch. Never suspected, 45 years ago, whatever, I'd be living through a third world country political propaganda nonsense thing in my home country of America. And, the rhetoric of this record of return to this is what we're talking about. Saying how great this is. This is great. The political point of view expressed in these, after the first song, okay, alcohol had nothing to do with anything. But the other 7 songs, it does deal with a political point of view. So I'm not only surprised at this stage in life that I'm appreciating hardcore punk. And that the first time that I have appreciated hardcore punk, I may well return to hardcore punk in the future. I'm not promising. If something hits me between the eyes, I'll tell you about it. But the political rhetoric of this record, Blood for Oil, I always understood the idea. And I boo-booed the idea. I went, yeah. That it's about weapons of mass destruction. It's about democracy building and spreading democracy. Hell, we need to spread democracy in America at the moment. I'll leave it at that. I'm just amazed. Checking my notes. Oh, there's no ballads. Hardcore punk, no ballads. It seems odd for me to have a note in front of me to say that all the time. But in the old days, when I had hair, there'd be a ballad on every record. There'd be a variety of songs. A heavy metal DJ in the day, in the early 80s, he would tell you how many hard rock songs was on a record that he was playing from, because that's the way things were in the 70s and early 80s. Like, yeah, you would get 1, 2, 3 hard rock songs off a record, and then the rest would be ballads or a shuffle or reggae or some other than hard rock. It is a 80s, starting in the 80s, did we have records that rocked the whole way through. And if you find yourself listening to hair metal bands or melodic metal, as prefer to be called, going into the 80s and the early 90s, yeah, there's a shit ton of ballads on those records. So you didn't get hard rock all the way through. You half the damn thing were ballads. Awful ballads, I should say. And clarify. So just be grateful. You live in an age where you can purchase a fine record of music without any ballads on it, unless you choose to do so. And you can check out before you purchase what's on it. You like this video? Give it a like. Subscribe to Action Rock Corner, ring the notification bell, and go listen to Wasted Youth No. Is that damaged youth? Thinking of somebody else. Damaged youth. Did I slip before a time or two? I hope not. Who might think of wasted youth? Is that Skid Row? And not the good Skid Row with Gary Moore from the late 60s, early 70s. We're talking about the melodic metal Skid Row. So go listen to it, come back, and tell us what you think. Do you agree with me? And then remember, if you don't understand the lyrics, exactly, and he enunciates fairly well, but still, it's kind of fast. It's thrashy. Gotta say this stuff fast. So enunciation gets lost a touch. Go to Bandcamp, and there's a lyrics feature to punch, and it gives you the lyrics for all 8 songs. So you know exactly what you're consuming intellectually. So Bandcamp does that for you. Not yet on YouTube. It'd be nice if he did. Can you do that for us, Dekonstruktion Records? For latest in action rock, garage rock, punk. Not necessarily hardcore punk all the time, but punk, psychobilly, rockabilly, stoner, and space rock, and all kinds of cool stuff. And classic and legacy bands, like the MC5, and whoever else comes up. We'll have it for you. Remember, fresh music is as important as fresh food. Have fun with your music. I don't know how much fun this is. But that's art. The music is art, and the cover art. There has to be a physical of this for people to purchase. They can have this on a final platform, big ass final platform. This is a hell of a thing. Is there even a Wasted Youth band to tour the thing? Let's really piss off the current regime. Throw together a band, Dekonstruktion Records. Go on tour. You may be touring corner bars, but go on tour. It'll be fun. At least for me to go check out the show. I think I'm already on the enemies list. Wouldn't be much to add this to it. It's great. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon.